listened to a fool? Would you know a fool when he starts talking? Oh, boy, does the Bible have a lot to say about the speech of a fool. Huh. Let me see how many verses there are just about how a fool talks. 6, 9, 12, 15, 19 verses. 19 verses just on the speech that comes out of a fool's mouth. Listen to these. The fool babbles, causing his downfall. Proverbs 10, 8 and 10. In other words, he just yammers on and on and on and on, and it brings about his own downfall. He gets caught in whatever he's done wrong. Sometimes you might see a kid that does this, the parent, or maybe it's a teacher or something, begins to question somebody about something that's happened. Well, all you got to do is let the fool get started talking, and it won't be long before their babbling will prove they were the ones at fault. That's a fool. So the fool's mouth gets him into trouble. Proverbs 10:14. So it doesn't just cause his downfall, it gets him into trouble. Have you ever known people they couldn't shut their mouth and they end up getting people angry at them, and the next thing you know, they're getting into a fight? Maybe at school or something. Why? Because they can't shut their mouth. Because they don't have enough sense to understand that if they keep going on like they're doing, they're going to be in big trouble with somebody, and somebody's going to want to shut their mouth for them. Happens. Watch it at school. Those of you who are in school, watch it. It'll play out, I guarantee you. The fool spreads slander about other people. Yeah, Proverbs 10:18. In other words, they're going to be talking smack about other people. They're going to be putting them down. Okay, listen up, kids. Listen to those around you. How do they talk about other people? If they are putting others down, saying nasty things about them, spreading stories about them that are not good stories about that person, and that's what they do all the time, they are a fool. Understand that. They are the fool. They are the ones you need to avoid. Okay? Fools also say stupid things, according to Proverbs 12:23. Really stupid things. Just listen to them. You'll hear them. Go on the internet. They're all over YouTube saying stupid things. There are people on Facebook that have been caught because they committed a crime and went on YouTube and bragged about it. Is that stupid or what? Of course it's stupid. But that's a fool. That's what they do. They say stupid things. So the fool will say things that come back to hurt him. Proverbs 14:3. His words are going to boomerang on himself, and they'll hurt him in the end. Just watch the politicians for a while. Oh, here's a good one. The fool lies. I just mentioned politicians. How many of them are fools? Proverbs 14:8. They lie. Proverbs 14:9, the fool mocks at sin. They mock at sin. You know what that means? It means they make fun of people who are sinning. Yeah. There's no grief in their heart over the fact that person's sinning. They might even be making fun of it, laughing about it, because it's something they themselves do. Okay? Listen to comedians. How much of what a comedian says is them making fun of those who sin? And yet you know they do the same thing. They're a fool. The fool talks about foolishness constantly. Proverbs 15:2. Oh yeah, constantly. That's all they talk about is foolish stuff. Stuff that doesn't matter. It's complete silliness. You can't get them to be serious over anything. The fool cannot speak well. Proverbs 17:7. In other words, don't ask a fool to get up and give a speech that amounts to anything. They're not going to be able to do it because they can't communicate well. They don't know how. They're not persuasive. The fool is considered wise when he's silent, though. I used to like this one when I was younger, because I knew if I just kept my mouth shut, people would think I was smart. But it's true. Even a fool, when he's quiet, people will think he's smarter than he really is. The fool's mouth traps his soul. Proverbs 18:7. Absolutely. His mind, his emotions, his will are all held captive by his mouth. So what he thinks, what he feels, what he does, all directed by his mouth. The fool is perverted in his speech. Listen up, young people. If you know somebody who is spouting garbage, filthiness, using foul language, they are perverted in their speech and they are a fool. It's real simple. A fool is quarrelsome. That means they're going to argue everything. Everything. There isn't anything, any subject that you can bring up, they're going to want to argue about it. Because they love to argue. They love to get in quarrels. It's what gets them in fights a lot of times. It's because they're quarrelsome. They can't agree with anybody on anything. Here's a good one. Proverbs 26:7. If a fool attempts to repeat wisdom, it's useless. Have you ever heard somebody that you know nothing ever comes out of their mouth that's really smart? It's just foolishness all the time. But then they try to repeat something wise that they heard somebody else say, and it just falls flat. Yeah, you got a fool on your hands. You got a fool on your hands. And it's painful to hear that. When they do that, it's painful for you to hear it. Proverbs 26:9. Oh, man. So, the fool speaks nonsense, Isaiah 32:6. What they have to say isn't worth listening to. Do you have somebody who likes to talk a lot? I mean, a lot. Fool is recognized through his, we'll call it verbosity. That means he talks and 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 he talks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 3. Check it out. And finally, to confirm that one, as if that wasn't enough, go to Ecclesiastes 10 verses 12 and 14. He just talks incessantly. That's a fool. So there you have it. The speech of a fool. Don't be one. Don't be one. See you next time. God bless.